It's been a while since I dropped this shit. Swole fam, y'all better run this up. KD, let's go. Yeah. Aye, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, yeah. You know we don't play games. I'm blessed, I never said I didn't struggle. I finesse, I never said I didn't hustle. These niggas talk so loud, the way I move is subtle. I'm the ocean, but these niggas just a puddle. Ay, oh, I swear I'm delusional. These niggas, they using me. They want my energy, ain't nothing new, this is usual. These figures confusing me, what's gotten into me? They say I'm using their cubicles. Clipping KD like some cuticles. None of this shit is excusable. Don't need a muse when I'm musical. Ay, whoa, I'm tired of saying for truth when nobody's doing it. Yeah. They're controlling the youth, agenda abusing them, nigga. We losing them. Matter of fact, we just abusing them, that's a fact. We try to roll with a ballad act. Fucking low key with the Tesseract. They throwing smoke when they got to that. Get the fuck up out your little bubble. They wanna ask how much it costs, I said it double. Gorilla beard, these niggas only rockin' stubble. The realest nigga make these bitches start to stumble. Aye, East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play games, yeah. East Coast with that gang gang, West Coast with that gang gang, global with that gang gang, nigga. You know we don't play games, yeah.
Mas. All right, fam, welcome to part 2. We are in the knowledge cock portion. If you are listening on audio, it cut in seamlessly, but this is part 2, so this will probably be, around the same length. We have a few more questions to go over. We'll take questions for like 10 more minutes or so, depending on what comes in. And of course, we'll go balls deep, and then we will wrap that up. So welcome, come one, come all. Very nice. Reminder that the hashtag is mass. It's Make America Swole. So drop that in the comments down below. Fuck yeah! For a chance to win today's Swole card. And let's just continue right where we left off. We'll get into another question. If you have any questions, drop in the comments. Hashtag Ask Papa Swolio. Let's see what we got here. Question from Yadiel Ortiz, 14. Papa, what if I can't go to the fucking gym every day because I don't have a ride? Walk, get a bike, train at home, take the bus, do what you can. Get a ride. Get a ride, Uber. Do whatever it takes to get your fucking gains. If it's important to you, then you'll make it happen. Get a job so you can pay for the Uber or whatever. Do something. Suck dick for a ride. Do something. Come on, you have... Fam. Start an OnlyFans or something like that. I mean, you have holes. Some have more holes than others, but you can use them. Use them to your advantage. You got one life. What? YOLO. Why go through life without gains? All right, we're starting off.
He's on fire!
A lot of you think, oh my God, it's a brand new show. No, this is part 2. So you're just coming in. You're like, oh my God, I just missed it. We just started. No, this is part 2. Part 2, motherfuckers. K-Sod 90, Papa Swolio. Sir, respectfully, I like that. Sir, going to the gym once a week will be effective? No, not really. Not really. Can you make progress? Yes, you can make progress, but it will be slow. And going to the gym once a week, you're not going to be able to get the volume overall. Your workout will be too long if you go once a week. Can you make progress? I think you can, especially if you're going from 0, but training once a week, it's not going to be enough after a while. So once a week, you got to do it. And the thing is, if you're going once a week, what you have to do, you have to train to literal failure. Every body part, that's going to be extremely fatiguing, but you could make progress. It's It's not ideal. It's not ideal. And you might tap out. You're going to plateau pretty quickly. Anyone that makes serious gains, you don't train just once a week. JDD29, Papa Swole, why didn't you come back when you left to get muscle milk? Well, I don't drink that trash, but my son, I left to get raw dairy. Don't get it twisted. Raw dairy is great for muscles. It's not muscle milk. That product is garbage. But, you know, it's hard to find raw dairy. So that's why I haven't been back. And then I decided, you know what? I can just make more gains without you hanging on to my legs. So I'm sorry, son. I'm sorry. All right. Question from Nick Herring. Papa Swole, is all dairy bad? Should you cut it out completely? Or is there some that's okay? Well, I used to be in the camp, like, just cut out dairy. But that's because I was only really exposed to pasteurized dairy, and most pasteurized dairy and most dairy products, like anything else, there's added sugars, it's denatured, it's pasteurized, it's low quality, it's skim. So you're literally just getting fucking white sugar water. So raw dairy is fantastic. If you get it from grass-fed cows, and if you can get A2 dairy products, it's even better for your gut. So I love raw kefir, raw butter, raw cream. I consume lots of raw dairy. But raw dairy, it's a game changer. It's a game changer if you're consuming it raw and you're getting from quality sources. So it's definitely not bad. It depends on where you're getting it from. Some people have more issues with lactose. I would recommend making kefir because it breaks down the lactose so you won't have issues. Much less likely to have issues. Elijah, Papa Solio, since I have limited time when I hit the gym, do you think this could be a good 4-day split? Well, bottom line, if you're doing a 4-day split, there are many different ways to do it. So that's a lot of time in the gym. A 4-day split, that's great. So pretty much whatever you choose that you can do, that you enjoy for 4 days will be great. But let's read this. Upper push, leg/quad. So you mean legs? Or do you mean just quads? So quads, upper pull, more hamstrings. Active recovery on my home days. Yeah, that's great. I do something similar to that. You could even do chest and back and then an arm day and do quad and hamstring. So yeah, that's great. That's fine. I mean, upper push, I'm assuming you mean chest, shoulders, and some triceps, right? Because if you're doing upper push, you're getting a lot of anterior deltoid. You might only need to add one pushing movement. But at the same time, so if it also depends on where your weaker points are. So if you're trying to focus more on your anterior deltoid, you'd probably want to separate shoulders towards like the end and separate that from their chest day as much as possible in order to target them a little bit more. So this is where the splits can be a little bit more customized. So if you're trying to work on a specific area, you don't want to train it after chest. So if you're doing chest, you're doing 2 or 3 or 4 exercises, maybe 1 to 2 sets for each exercise. At the end, you're going to be pretty blasted. You're going to be pretty fatigued. So your anterior deltoid is getting a lot. So if you need to work on that specifically, you're probably hitting plenty in chest, but either throw one exercise at the end or separate on a different day. So you could do upper push. You could do chest and biceps and then back and triceps. You could do, there's different ways to do it. Sure. And I kind of change my splits now and again, depending. So this week I'm splitting up my leg days. I'm doing a quad day and a hamstring glute day. Sometimes I do legs together if I feel like it, or if my splits, so I'll kind of tweak my splits subtly, depending on how I feel and depending on how much recovery or something that's coming up. So sometimes I'll just tweak. I'll do chest and biceps. Sometimes I'll do chest by itself. I'll just do pushing. Sometimes I'll do chest, shoulders, and triceps. Sometimes I'll do chest and back. So I'll kind of fluctuate. You can do that as long as you're getting enough recovery between subsequent sessions. So you can tweak your split now and again. If you get more advanced, it won't make that much of a difference depending on how much volume and to tweak and try different things. As long as you're getting enough rest and recovery for your central nervous system and for those body parts, you can adjust your split subtly. So sometimes I'll just do legs and sometimes I'll feel like just focusing on quads, It's more for me, it's more psychological. I like focusing on less things. A lot of times people will be like, well, that's a bro split if you're just doing a chest on a day. It's not a bro split. It's just a split. And it's a very intelligent split to focus on one specific body part. It doesn't mean you can't do upper push, because you're essentially, if you're just doing chest, it's upper push. You're pushing. You're just not isolating and adding additional isolation for triceps or for anterior deltoid. You're still working those body parts. Understand? You're still working your biceps even to an extent, depending on the movement. If you're doing chest flies, you're still hitting your biceps a little bit for the flexion. So, think about it. Think about it. Just because you're doing a chest day doesn't mean you're not working your anterior deltoid and your triceps. You're just not doing movements specifically to target those. So psychologically, just focusing on certain movements, I think people should be more specific with their training. I think people should have more intent when they train in purpose. And for me, if I'm thinking about doing too many things, I'll leave too much stuff in the tank, and psychologically it's overwhelming. So if I'm doing an upper body push, I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to do chest, and then I'm going to do shoulders, anterior deltoid, and maybe some side raises, lateral raises. And then I'm going to do a couple exercises for triceps. By the time I get to triceps, I'm already psychologically, I'm spent. If I gave it everything for my chest workout for the 3 or 4 exercises, because I'll do maybe 1 set per exercise. So if I do 4 sets for chest, like, I'm blasted. I'll be sore for a few days. I'm going to my highest intensity. I'm going to failure. By the time I get done with those 4 exercises or so, like, I'm pretty fucking wiped. So maybe I'll do some forearms at the end, or some calves, or I'll do some yoga, things like that. But honestly, whenever it comes down to like a chest and triceps, I just don't like that much. I think that's a lot of overload for that. I think it's a lot of overload on the triceps. And I think if you want to develop each body part to its maximum capacity, and a lot of people have those weak points. Remember, if you have any weak points or things you want to focus on specifically, you need to train it when it's rested. If you want to bring up your arms, for example, and you're always training your arms at the end of a workout, you're fatigued. You're not getting 100%. Your biceps might not have done an isolation movement, but at the end of back, you're already fatigued for your biceps, and your central nervous system, like systemically, you're already fatigued from doing 30 minutes or 45 minutes crushing major muscle group. So I think you're even better off going really hard, focusing, doing less volume, and hitting it when it's recovered. Because if you're hitting it when it's more recovered, you're able to give it full attention. You're going to train it really hard. You're going to need more recovery from that after all. So it's a larger split, but you're going to need more recovery anyway. Just something to think about. Just in my mind, psychologically, it's a lot. It's a lot. Look, the Tainty Man, he's covered. My goodness, the Tainty Man's blocked. Very, very artistic here. My guns bacon, and look, the guns bacon and freedom tank. Okay. Well, that was not bad. I'll take that. Just keep it in mind. Keep it in mind when when I'm training, I'm just training intensely, and I've done the math, and I always like to time my workout. Not that I'm trying to get it done a certain time, but I always like to know how long I'm training for, because my rest periods will vary. But if I'm doing, let's say 4 sets, when I say 4 sets, I'm doing 4 to failure working sets. 4 to 5 working sets will take me 30, 45 minutes. You might be like, my God, it takes you that long to do those sets? Well, I'm warming up. I'm doing 1 or 2 warm-up sets before my maximum set. And then usually for the first set, for the first exercise, I'll do 1, 2, or 3 warm-up sets. But then for the subsequent ones, I'm usually doing 1, maybe 2. So I'm doing more sets. I'm just not going to failure, but I'm doing 1. I'm really just doing whatever I need to do to get 1 set all out. If I need another warm-up and I feel, okay, I'm moving to like the hack squat, I'm not just going to be, okay, and just throwing all the weight. I'm going to do a lighter set just to kind of get the feel and the coordination for that movement, then go a little bit heavier. I might just do a few reps, go up a little bit in weight, because I don't want to exhaust myself. So if I'm doing all that and I'm training intensely for 30, 45 minutes, I'm doing that many sets, I just don't have anything after. I don't like leaving something in the tank. So if I know that I'm doing triceps after, if I'm doing chest and triceps, then am I really giving everything to the chest workout because I'm leaving something in the tank in order to execute that? So I do understand integrated movement, but if you're trying to build muscle and maximize strength, then you need to give your body recovery. And at the end, towards the end of that, it becomes less effective. Jeremy Papasolio, in the gym, I see a lot of dudes with jacked forearms. However, I never see anyone working forearms. What's the secret? Gear? LOL. Thanks, man. I don't know if that's, I don't know. I usually don't see people with jacked forearms at all. Maybe they work labor. Maybe they're doing a lot of construction or things that work the forearms a lot. I don't know. I've never had that experience seeing people with jacked period. But maybe they're whacking off a lot. Maybe they're beating their cock a lot. Beating the meat. The secret is focused training, consistent training too. Don't forget, a lot of people will forget. I mean, every body part, people say fast twitch, slow twitch. Every muscle will adapt the same way. You need to train intensely. You need to train to failure. The rep range might vary, but as long as you're pushing to failure with your body parts, whether you're doing calves or forearms, the amount of volume or how many reps you might like doing 10 to 15 better. You might like doing 6 reps. Everyone's a little bit different. Yeah, beating the meat. Lufery. Papa Solia, what should I train Mondays? I don't give a fuck. I don't care what you train on Monday. You could train something different every day. Maybe you're not training intensely on Monday. I don't give a shit as long as you're on a good program. Monday is an arbitrary day. Like, fuck the schedule, fam. Again, forget the schedule. So going back to Elijah's question about the 4-day split. Look, you can do a 5-day split. So here's how people get their minds fucked up. So if you do a 5-day split, let's say you're doing chest and then anterior deltoid, back and posterior deltoid, and then you're doing arms where you're doing, like, this might be a split that I'm doing this week where I'll do arms and I'll do lateral raises or some lateral work, bis and tris. And I'll do like 8 sets. I'll do 3 exercise of bis and tris. Because I love bicep and tricep supersets. I love chest and back supersets. But when it comes to supersets for chest and back, it's very exhausting. So you have to keep that in mind. So it's really all about what allows you to recover and helps you provide the most, progressive overload and make consistent gains. If you're doing a 5-day split, people first go to, oh my God, 5 days, only 2 recovery days, 5 days. I'm going to do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I'm going to lift every day. If it's a 5-day split, you don't have to stop doing splits based off 7 days. Okay. So with the Maximum Swole program that we announced the upcoming release of, it's just sessions. So you might have a 3-session split, but that might go over 10 days. That might go over 14 days or 18 days. It doesn't matter. So if you're doing a 5-day split, why does it have to restart on Monday? Because if you train 5 days, 5 days of intense training in a 7-day cycle, 2 days is you're not going to be fully recovered and rested on Monday. Your body is not an Etch-a-Sketch, turn upside down, shake it, and it's erased. And wow, we're back to normal. We're starting again on Monday. We're completely recovered. If you train like a fucking animal on Friday or Saturday, you're still wiped out on Monday. Especially if your sleep is compromised, everything else. Nothing's perfect in this world. So why do people you don't have to compress yourself to Monday. It starts again. It has to start again on Monday. And then people get mind fucked because let's say something happens. Their car breaks down or they have to go into work early and they can't train. They can't do their normal routine. So then it's Tuesday. Oh my God, I can't do chest on a Tuesday. Do I just skip my workout? Do I try to do both on Tuesday? Do I lift twice in one day? Oh my God, it's Tuesday now. Who cares? Who cares? It's just one more day of recovery. Great. You'll just do the next thing. So my point is, if you train hard, if you're doing a 5-day split and you're training every other day or something like that, maybe it's an 8 or 9-day cycle. Maybe it repeats every 10 days. What's the difference? There's no difference. There's no difference. Most people need more recovery than they think. And then that allows you to train more intensely. So if you're training on a 5-day split and you're training really intensely on those days, you need 7 days or 9 days before you hit that again. Trust me, you're going to need it. And your weight's going to go up. You're going to increase in strength. You're going to increase in reps. You're going to make progress if you recover 100%. But people don't recover 100%. They beat up body parts that are still in recovery. They beat up the same nervous system that's still trying to repair psychologically and physiologically from the previous workout. If you train legs really hard on Saturday, you're not completely rested and ready to go for chest or something on Monday. Your body is still damaged. Unless you're doing very, very low volume. But still, high intensity training to failure is very exhausting. And you can tell that you're not recovering enough if your strength isn't improving. If you're training intensely enough and you're recovering enough, your strength will go up. Your reps will go up. They will, because if you're training intensely enough, you're creating the stimulus. And then if you're recovering enough, your body will supercompensate. Your body will compensate for that stress and you'll build muscle and you'll gain strength. This is why when you take more rest, you feel more recovered, you get a sick pump. How many of you will train really hard? People deload. You don't need to deload. You really don't need to deload if you are recovering enough. So this is why I always say with the 7 pillars, I say, focus your fundamental programming. Think about everything from the aspect of recovery, not from training, but recovery. So make sure you're recovering and then add in your training rather than training and trying to squeeze in recovery. See how people normally do the latter. They have a training protocol and they're trying to jam in recovery. Recovery is time. Recovery is time. It's time. You can't speed up time. You can do things that help you recover more effectively, like active recovery, but it doesn't fast track. You might maximize, like, time is time. Can you do things that will aid your body repairing? Like, sure, but at the same time, but it's really time. So you can't speed up time. You can use your time more wisely, but it's really time. It's really repair, because psychologically, your body needs that time. So if you're doing a program and then you're trying to squeeze in recovery, it's not going to be as effective. If you're focusing on recovery and then you're adding in programming, mind blown. Then you can train really intensely and then go back to your recovery. Recovery can be clubs. It could be sled. Doesn't mean you sit on your ass. You could do yoga. You're just not training at 100%. When you're lifting weights and you're doing those all out sets, that's 100% effort. That's exhausting. In between, you can go for a walk. You can do maybe some light rep, kettlebell swings. You can do some cardio, go for a walk or go on a bike or go swimming or do other recovery active things that you enjoy, just not at a high intensity. You're not lifting max fucking weights, to failure every day. I'll go swing a club or I'll go do a couple laps with the sled and I'll do some yoga and I'll do some other stuff. Right? Does that make sense? It's the intensity of your training. It doesn't mean you can't train every day, but you shouldn't be training intensely. You should be allowing your body to repair and doing other things. Work on some mobility and stretching and flexibility. So, in other words, every 7 days, there's no logic behind having to start again just because it's Monday. So that's what that question, what should I train Mondays? The sun hath risen. So people try to force their evolution and their bodies and their physiology into I work Monday through Friday. Just because you have this rigid schedule and they keep you on this hamster wheel of a calendar, time goes forward. That's the problem. This is why we lose time. And this is why as humans, we lose years and months of this kind of repetition because we think Monday and then it's another Monday and it's another Monday. It's this whirlwind and cycle. You know, it's another August and it's another July and it's another this and it's another this. It's another Monday. It's another week. It's another 15th. It's the 15th. It's the 15th. It's another Friday. It just keeps us on another. It's not another. You know, the hourglass is emptying out, but it's moving forward. So if you start expanding your training split cycle and you get off this 7-day mind fuckery and you just do your split and you train it intensely and you just repeat when you feel like it based on your recovery, it might be 9 days. You might do a leg day on Monday and you might hit again next Wednesday or Thursday. If you trained it fucking hard enough, you probably need it. You will need it if you trained hard enough because you're also training other things. It's not like you're only doing legs. So you train your legs will physically repair quicker than you will psychologically. It might be a day or two before you train another body part. That's why I like to go intensely, but short workouts. So I could train intensely and then recover. So I break it up into more bite-sized pieces rather than doing an hour and a half or 2 hours or like large body parts, like all this stuff. It's exhausting. So depending on what kind of split I do, the more time I'll have in between. That's why I like breaking it off so I can focus. It's like, hey, chest. I'm not doing chest and shoulders and triceps, or I might do like, a shoulder overhead press, depending. But I can focus on 3 to 5 exercises just all out and then try to keep it within like a 45-minute window. And that time frame lets me know if I'm doing too much volume. So I'm not doing like an hour and a half or 2 hours. I used to do a lot more volume, a lot more. I used to cramp and I used to be really, burnt out. So if you are not recovering enough, people burn themselves out and then, hey, it's a deload week, or let me take 2 weeks off. If you just give yourself more recovery on a regular basis, you could be consistent. Just some other ways to think about it. Melom lekaloma. Melom lelucom. Melolucomon. I'm 14. I would like to know what are the best exercises for me to gain muscles and everything. Well, I'm glad. Start with the basic strength training program. It's such a basic, fundamental question. There's no best exercises, gain muscles and everything. Get on a good strength training program. Learn how to eat properly and eat enough protein and quality foods and get quality sleep and be consistent. You're 14. You got a long way to go. I'm not going to address that. It's too much of a vague question. Brisale 22. Papa Sully, what should I eat as a boxer? Well, I don't box, so I'm not even going to answer this question, but I would say you should probably be eating the right foods and doing an elimination diet and eating quality foods regardless of what you're doing. The amount or X, Y, and Z, or what foods might work best for you, or when you eat, your timing for nutrition might vary. And of course, as a boxer, you want to, probably not gain a lot of weight. And so that's all I'm going to say about that. Nutrition, people are like, hey, what should I eat for this? What should I eat for this? Humans should be eating real fucking human food. The amount that you eat and what timing, whether you're doing fasting or eating only one meal a day, that's probably going to be something that's more important than what you're eating. You should be eating animal-based, in my opinion. Nikos Stauropoulos. Papa Sully, any bulking tips for someone doing it for the first time? Yeah, I wouldn't think of it as bulking. I would put on muscle slowly and consistently. You're much better off doing that than just getting a lot of fat. People bulk, they really just put on fat and they're not putting on enough muscle. So eat sufficient protein, train hard, make sure you're progressively overloading and track your stuff so you're gaining in strength and gaining muscle size over time, and just be consistent. Don't eat dirty and excessively because you're just going to put on fat. You're going to put on weight. You're not going to put on actual muscle. It takes time. It takes a lot of time. You don't have to get fat to build muscle. All right. Okie dokie. All right, let's get into balls deep time. Excellent.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's deep.
All right, here we go. This is part 2, obviously, so we're going a little bit long. Let's get into a couple of videos. We'll only do 1 or 2 because we did a 2-part show. Oh, her face is so, oh, Jesus Christ. Oh my God. I'm good. Oh. All right. We got 3 videos. They're kind of shorter, so that's perfect. We'll do that one last. My God, I'm making the call here.
What's in the box?
Oh my God, this one, repeat offender. It's called Mask versus Being Fat. What?
Something kind of ridiculous in my family is
Please wear a mask.
everyone acts like they cannot breathe in a mask. Oh,
You can't. You're just breathing your own fumes, and I would recommend you put on a mask. Absolutely, please, for our benefit.
I cannot breathe, but I'm supposed to be the unhealthy, unfit, fat one.
Yep.
But I can breathe just fine.
Yeah, you're used to it because you've been wearing a mask for... Yeah, masks don't work, by the way, and it's very difficult to breathe in a mask. Factually, because you're breathing your own fucking waste. Masks don't work. They don't work. Hello, they don't work. Okay, but I would recommend that she wear a mask, especially when she's making videos. Please put on a mask. Please, please. Thank you. Okay. I'm going to do this one last because it makes me want to vomit just by the thumbnail. Fucking Christ, please no. This one's called 4th of July. I'm curious.
What's in the box?
4th of July. Let's see what we got here.
For the first time in our lives, if you choose to celebrate the 4th of July in 2023, you will not be seen as a patriot, as someone who is thankful for living in the United States of America. You will be seen as a potential domestic terrorist. Wow.
Yeah, so he's not in favor of that. He's just saying it. So, yeah, I'm going to disagree because I don't care what lunatics think. So he's not wrong in the sense, and he's not saying that like he's a woke tard. He's saying because if you have an American flag, what, like, did I storm the Capitol on January 6th? These evil Republicans. No, that's the, those are the communists on the left. So the Democrats are literally destroying the country. We're trying to stop it. We're trying to save what we have left of logic and common sense. So a lot of you have probably seen the Joe Rogan debacle on Twitter, how he's calling out Dr. Hotez, who's a literal mouthpiece of the state, pushing vaccines day in and day out, and he won't accept a debate with Joe Rogan. And I think there's like hundreds of thousands of dollars that are being offered up for charity. And he won't debate. And a lot of people on the left are saying, well, you wouldn't debate it. You shouldn't debate he's going to debate RFK, who's, you know, pretty much he's a very outspoken and oftentimes very correct individual when it comes to the vaccines, when it comes to the deep state. So a lot of people on the left are saying you shouldn't debate a conspiracy theorist, because if you debate them, then you give them credibility, which is nonsense. So the right will debate, the left will not overall, because the left wants to censor speech. The left is in control of all the mainstream media and the social media platforms. So anyone that's refusing a debate, it's not that you're giving it credibility. That's a cope. That's an excuse to not debate. They don't want to debate because they're wrong. They don't want to debate because they're hypocrites. They don't want to debate because they have no ground to stand on, because they would get destroyed. But they're trying to gaslight you into thinking like, we're not going to debate because then it gives credibility to the wrong, to misinformation, which is nonsense. So anyway, what this guy was saying is that this 4th of July, you're going to be seen as a white supremacist. You're going to be seen as a, you know, domestic terrorist, because of they're trying to shit all over the flag. They're trying to make the flag something that's evil, that is an extremist, but it's not true. So I agree with what they're trying to do. I know what this guy's saying, and I don't feed into that at all. So I know what he's saying. He's not saying this because he's a woke tard. He's saying this because that's what the left is trying to do. That's what the Democrats are trying to do. But I'm not playing into that narrative in the sense that, celebrating 4th of July, you can't give that credibility because you feed into it and you don't speak your mind, then the only voices that are talking are the ones that are going to keep on moving forward. So just make sure that you're speaking up. Make sure you're speaking up. Make sure you're speaking the truth, not your truth, but the truth. And it's important to be vocal about it because if you're not, the only voices that are going to be heard are the lunatic retards. All right. So anyway, that being said, America, baby.
America! Fuck yeah!
America. Fuck yeah. They're trying to make 4th of July like an evil holiday or something like that, which is stupid. Okay, let's do this one. This one's horrible. It's awful. You're going to vomit, but here it is. And then we'll do a throwback.
What's in the box?
I think my favorite part of being...
No, you can't see it. You can't see it. I got to move the bottom bar. It's so gross. Oh, God, it's so gross. Oh, my God. Fucking shit. What the fuck is that? Here we go.
I think my favorite part of being fat is that we're like durable as fuck. Like I heard this story once about this.
Oh, you're not durable. Tell that to your suspension. Oh, you're durable as fuck. What does that mean? You roll down a hill? What the fuck are you talking about? Fuck you.
Fat guy who got hit by a car and he like flew across the street and he like didn't even break a bone. That's amazing.
Oh my God, you're retarded. Oh.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
Jesus Christ. You got hit by a guy. There's a lot of stories like that. People going through a windshield when they're not wearing a seatbelt because their body goes limp and they bounce and whatever. What are you fucking talking about? That's just a fluke. Has nothing to do with being fat. You're fucking...
Sell crazy someplace else. We're all stocked up here.
What is the best move to silence a woman?
All right, throwback time. All right, let's wash that out of our fucking minds. Here we go. Who's ready for a throwback? Here we go.
What's in the box?
Cancer Mom here, and DD is always weighed to see if medication amounts need to change. Yeah. If you're 300 pounds, you need more because of your body in many cases. Depends on the medication.
So people keep commenting
Talk to your
shit like
doctor.
this about weight being clinically significant in terms of medication dosing. But it's completely irrelevant.
You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
The only prescriptions that I'm on are topical prescriptions for my broken vagina.
I arrive in America's airport with clothing, US dollars, and a jar of gypsy tears to protect me from AIDS.
Gross! Oh, shit. Oh. And it's so funny. The beam at the end was like, whoa. And I was just puking the whole time. Jesus. Ooh, fucking. Ew.
First, take a big step back and literally fuck your own face!
My God. They have a cave troll. Fam, gross. Gross as fuck. All right, that wraps us up for today. Fam, tomorrow we'll be back for some more Daily Swole, episode 2603. Thanks for being here for part 1 and 2. part 1 and 2. This is part 2, so we'll combine them and get this podcast up as soon as possible today. Let's give away today's Swole card. We'll take some soundboard requests also. Falcon, take us away. Mas, make America swole, make America swole, make America swole. Let's make America swole. Not landing on anyone. One more time. Let's make America swole, America swole. Ooh, just missed one. Cerny says genetics. Dun, dun. All right, I'll take it. I know it's not technically M-A-S, but it's M-A-S-S. Matthew Riley. Congratulations! Oh no, it's rigged. Oh, it's rigged. Oh, it's rigged. Oh no, it's rigged. We can't. No, we can't. We can't let Matt win. That's right. It's rigged. Hold on. No. No, Matt doesn't win because he can't. It's rigged. Or maybe it's not rigged. Maybe it's not rigged.
Inconceivable!
Interesting. Maybe it's not rigged. Anyway, his comment, ass, gas, or grass. No one rides for free. Hashtag All right, congratulations. Send us an email to support@swolenumbers.com. Swolecard 2602 in the subject, your mailing address in the body of the email. All right. Aha. So is it rigged or is it not rigged? Ooh, Michelle, this ain't the presidential election. That's right. We just got our voting machines fixed. We got the new ones in. We switched from Dominion, and now we have a new algorithm, so we're good to go. Sorry, Tainty Man. Carson, I watch Jurassic Park every Father's Day, so I need a Dodson, please.
Dodson! We've got Dodson here!
%60 of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
No medication except my fucking antidepressants.
I got you, fam. I got you.
I like to caress rusty spoons.
Maybe we should always do 2 parts. Double up. Never. Not when we can help it.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
that. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, very nice. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Fantastic. All right, fam. If you are ready to join the Swole fam, the greatest fam in the realm, join us, swolenormousx.com. And, let me crank this hog back up. So I hope you're enjoying Roast Your Nips. Go get a great workout and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. We'll be back here tomorrow for 2603. And hit the thumbs up button on your way out and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, anywhere you bang your ear holes. And we'll be back tomorrow for another amazing episode. Thanks for being here. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Your boy, Papa Swolio. Oh.
Crazy flow, need a straight jacket. Cash flow, I'm a bank addict. 6 subs, had the bass smacking. 808s, had the place clapping. 3 girls is enough for me, so I pull out like the stock crashing. Like an IPO, trying to purchase me. This a private sector, so you can't have it. Faking all that boom bapping. Who you think you is, boy? 90s want they sound back, so I give rap all these fake rappers as I take matters in my own hands. I don't need rapping, I don't need Zans. I don't need help, I'm a grown man. Now they king left and they so mad, it's like
yeah, I found that. Young king with my crown at. 10 racks in the fanny pack. Couple hundred in the Louis bag.
That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you made. That's a bed that you laid. That's a bed that you laid. What kind of game is you playing? We go hard in the paint, yeah. What the fuck is you saying? I only go where they pay. What kind of game is you playing? Yeah, whoa, my shit is relevant, on topic, my melanin is popping. I'm taking skeletons on closets and making new deposits. I'm